we go, people. So yes, this is we're doing a Facebook Live with. Introduce yourself, mate.
My name's Adam Stevens, and my company's called Intelligent Eating, but I think a lot of people might know that already. If you don't, well, you do now. So that's what we're doing. We're having a bit of fun.
We've just done a radio show, live radio show on Dougie Stone Radio, and that'll be available on our podcast stream on DougieStoneRadio.com. If you look for it there, and because the conversation was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
I think so. I mean, with January, people are starting to tail off now with their the new year, new you, all this kind of stuff, diets and so on. We've been talking about veganism, plant-based diets, education, miseducation, misinformation, how people are confused. We've been talking about gluten-free, why people do diets, why people don't, and actually, you know what? This stuff is actually really important because it gets down to it. It's life or death stuff. People don't realise that. So it's actually been a really interesting one. Whilst it's predominantly been about business, actually, you know what? Without your health, doesn't matter what business you're doing, there won't be any.
No, not at all. I'm just sharing to group. So if you just You carry on chatting for a little.
No, that's all right. That's okay. And a lot of these things that they're so important that people don't realise the importance of actually what you eat as to how it affects how you are overall. Your overall mood, the way you sleep, the way that your relationships operate, the way that your business performance. You see this in companies, and you're starting to see this. You've seen it in the States first. You start to see it in the UK now. Corporate wellness is now including actual dietary plans for people. Also, you're starting to see. I heard it on the radio this morning. Slightly bigger radio station than yourself, but I would suggest yours is arguably better in the sense. But I think it was Radio 4 where they're talking about there's now a record number of claims against the NHS for medical negligence, and a lot of it is where a doctor has immediately gone for prescription rather than said, what you've been eating for the last 3 decades. Right? Yeah.
Well, I had that. I told you about that. I had a stroke.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not keep going boring you with it. I'm after sympathy. I'm just telling you my story. Yeah. I had a mini stroke in 2019. Knew I'd had a stroke when I woke up. The hospital didn't think I'd had a stroke. But anyway, it turns out I'd had a stroke. Went to the stroke clinic afterwards, and straight away wanted to give me statins and a lot of other bits and bobs. And I'm like, why do I need to take these? And I actually threw the prescription away, and then I kept getting phone calls because obviously they're not collected the prescription from the hospital.
Right.
Then when I went back in, he said something about statins. I said, well, I'm not taking them. And he says, why are you not taking them? I said, because I don't think it's right for me. I don't want to be taking something for the rest of my life that's going to make me feel like crap. I'm going to try and affect myself by eating differently. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, in some cases, I'm not it'd be illegal for me to advise in any capacity. It's also unethical. No, it's unethical or immoral for me to be in a state of saying whether you should or shouldn't take these drugs. It might be a case that you might do for a short phase of time whilst you get your numbers in order and so on. But actually, the remarkable thing about this, almost extraordinary, ignorant nature of so many people out there, is that actually so many of these things can be prevented or reversed simply through making small dietary changes. And I say small because it can be just small changes. Yeah. A small change in diet can have the same amount of effect as taking a huge dose of statin drug. And what you've done is just made some changes to your diet and decided not to take the statin drugs.
There's a risk, and the doctor said there's a risk. And I'm not knocking it. It does work. It does work for people. And like I say, I'm not saying it works for everyone, but for me, I looked at the information, the potential risk, and I said, well, actually, there is a risk for me not taking these tablets, but actually the risks for me against the benefits that I think I'm going to gain, I can do somewhere else. I'm willing to take that risk because some of the you always get side effects from drugs. One of the big side effects from things like statins is you get aching in your joints and things like that. One of the side effects from it.
Well, there are thousands. Whereas you change your diet for the better, all the side effects are positive.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point is, people will take the medication because it's easier sometimes.
And
it's a blind faith in the medical profession.
We come from very different views of eating in the world in some respects, because you're a plant-based guy.
Yeah.
I like my meat, but I do like my veg. I like whole foods. I like whole foods. So we come from totally different ends of the spectrum, as in from that sort of point of view. But I think we converge to coming through the same thoughts, don't we? But we come to the point where we go, we agree on what we're eating affects us, and we agree by making changes and eating sensibly is paramount, really.
I think regardless of whatever your views on any particular way of eating or diet or however you want to describe it, if you don't think that's going to affect your health, then I think you're one of two things. You're either ignorant or you're just emuing, burying your head in the sand and ignoring it. And both those things are dangerous. So it doesn't really matter what you eat, but what does matter is how you eat and what is going to affect you. That's the important part of it. That's what people miss off. Make the choices you want. I don't have a problem with that. Kirk doesn't have a problem with that. But where the problems do lie is people getting sucked into these nonsensical fads, trends, and so on, without having any understanding whatsoever of how it's going to affect their health.
Yeah, because it's quite good, and I'd like people to listen to the radio show as well. But obviously, people don't. It's like everything. People consume blogs or they consume podcasts or whatever. So there'll be people who watch this that won't tune into the which is fine. I've not got issues. However, they consume what we're what we're trying to get over is important. And I think one of the main things that came out from the discussion we had is the level of obesity that we've got in the UK. America's been suffering it for a long time. What did you say? Is it 8 people a day is going to die from a heart attack or something?
Today in the UK, 60 people.
60 people were dying today, so you could be watching this now, couldn't they? Could be.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's actually 60 people today will die with no prior risk factors. Their first symptom will be their last.
Yeah.
Right? That's the problem. And this is the thing. We were talking about childhood obesity as well, which is a real problem. And people go, oh, but that's all American stuff. No. It's the same here. There's very little difference. Very little difference.
Yeah, and what I think we was talking about, and you were talking about as well, and that's where we come to the sort of same conclusions with some of our thought processes. People are misguided and going to a plant-based or a vegan diet, thinking it's really healthy, but they can be consuming lots of unhealthy things, can't they? Lots of processed foods. They're great, and I use the example on the show, the Greggs sausage roll.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to eat a sausage roll because you like a sausage roll, then eat a sausage roll. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But don't eat a sausage roll because it's got the label vegan on it and thinking it's healthy. It's still as unhealthy for you as the meat version, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. There's very little difference. These foods can be useful for transitional purposes if somebody is transitioning, but there's got to be a reason why they're doing it. But to be going into Greggs and buying a vegan sausage roll thinking it's healthy, that's ignorance. You're a victim of marketing if you believe that that's the case, unfortunately. It doesn't mean you're stupid. It's simply that you're getting sucked into it, and that's where you need education. Once you've got the education, then you can make a choice for yourself, and that's brilliant. You make a choice for yourself, cool. But if somebody else is making your decisions about the food that you eat, there's a problem. And that's what's happening for a lot of people, and that's why it's in the health problems.
I think someone has a saying, I forget who it was now. I think it's Tristan, and he says something. If something needs an advert, don't eat it.
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I mean?
I mean, you do see that. That there has been what you describe as it's called a rubber band effect, it's a catapult effect. I mean, yeah, okay, I agree with it in some respects. I mean, you see it. I don't watch television, but people who watch television will understand this. You'll get an advert. First advert will be, go and eat. You go on the app. There's an app you can get on the phone called Just Eat, right?
Yeah,
right.
We've all
So there's this, right. So you can go and order, right, this food that gets delivered to your house, the junk food, and the next advert that comes on is going to be an advert for helping you with constipation, for example, right? And it's like, join the two together here.
Do you know what finds me? What I find the bizarre about that Just Eat as well. People are not. Way back when you wanted your food, we talked about it, hunter gatherer, you'd have to go out. If we wanted to eat I don't know, there's a bird down there now. If we wanted to go and eat that bird, even though you wouldn't eat it, but I'd have a go at it, yeah, we'd have to do something physically to get that, wouldn't we?
Well,
we'd have to go out, we'd have to set something up. It could take us hours to get that, couldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we might not get it today, it might be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? So, but we've exerted some energy, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've burnt fat up and we've physical. Now you've got people sat at home, yeah, watching whatever they're watching on the telly, in Love Island or some crap like that, yeah. I'll get a McDonald's or I'll get a pizza delivered or whatever. You think, oh my God, you're not even exerting anything, actually physically getting up and walking to a shop.
It's getting even. The reality of it is, and this doesn't matter whether it's a vegan diet or a plant-based diet or an omnivorous diet or a paleo diet or the ice cube diet, whatever the hell you want to eat, right? It doesn't matter. The point of it is, it's getting worse. What's leading on from these types of things with your apps is now your voice. And now you can order food via voice, so you can literally be sat there during the Love Island advert comes on, and you can just ask Alexa, ask Siri, ask Google, and your food's delivered. Right?
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. And
it's frightening. It's frightening what's going on, and we've only got to look at what I use the States, because that's obviously a lot of things that's happened in the States. We seem to be a few years behind, and that can be anything from drugs to music to food
tends to cascade over.
We sort of come over, don't we? So you can see what's going on in the States over the last, quite a bit of time now, and the level of obesity and unhealthiness, and we had a look before. What is it? Something like nearly not far off 1 million people a year down of heart attack in the States. We saw 700,000 people or something. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation. I don't see. I think you said you believe there's be a big epidemic in the next 5, 10, 15 years or something.
Within the next 5 years, there's going to be an epidemic of unhealthy, fat, sick vegans. No two ways about it. It started already, and it started because the food companies are smart. They're not stupid. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to play an audience perfectly.
Yeah.
And a highly significant percentage of people who are jumping on this bandwagon of going vegan, they're just doing it purely because they've been sucked into the marketing. They don't care about the animals. They don't really care about their own health. They're doing it because they think it's cool to tell people about it.
Yeah.
Completely the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Completely the wrong reasons.
I think you're right, mate. So where can people? We better put your. Should we put your banner up so people?
You could do.
We'll put your banner up and then people can see it. It's there like that, you see.
Yeah.
So, I like your. We like your logo.
A few people have seen that and said it's all right. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's been turned into a few other things over time.
Yeah, I can imagine. So where do they just type that in, intelligent eating?
Yeah, across all the socials, or type it into Google, intelligent eating, you'll find me. Simple.
I've took it off.
That's all right.
Well, there, we'll put it above your head there.
Yeah, go now. You can go and have a nosy around the website, the Facebook page, Facebook group. I'm all over the place. It's trademarked. I mean, you'll see it. The stuff I've done, a lot of the work that I've done, whether it be in the UK, the States with Whole Foods. A lot of the interviews that I've done with a lot of doctors, you'll see, you'll find me across all the socials.
Yeah, I've got lots of videos as well. You interviewed a vegan bodybuilder, if there ever was a thing.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, what was really interesting about him is why did it happen?
Right.
With him.
Well, we never covered that.
We didn't when we talked in the radio show about it, but I think I will raise that point now while we're talking about it, because actually it's quite interesting. So he's a former U.S. Marine. Did 4 years in the U.S. Marine Corps. You've got to be pretty fit, tough guy to do that, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do it.
Right, and then 4 years in the U.S. Navy Reserves. So he served active duty twice. Okay, since he's out in Iraq. Now he said the things he saw. He said it was the worst of humanity, the worst that any species can treat each other, the worst behaviours that people can do, and the violence he saw. And he said on the back of that, he said, we treat animals exactly the same. He said that's what we do. And actually, that actually resonated with me, and that made sense to me. If somebody who's seen that much violence and it's affected them, again, PTSD, and you look at all these people now at work in these huge mass-produced factory farms and so on, if you think about it, somebody there who's shooting a pig 100 times a day in their head, killing it, that's going to affect them mentally. It is.
Yeah. Definitely.
If they're doing it for years, how's that going to affect somebody? It's going to desensitize them to violence.
Yeah.
So his motive for doing that it was out of compassion. That's what it is, and he's broken the mold. No two ways about it. He's 3-time pro bodybuilder of Florida.
Yeah, because bodybuilders they're consuming quite a lot of calories a day, aren't they? Normally, tends to be chicken, low in fat, but they're eating vast amounts of food from waking up in the morning to going to bed at night, aren't they? To be
this is it. But you when you look at it and you say it's lots of chicken, lots of protein, low fat. Yeah, sure, but the cholesterol's the same. You look at average age of bodybuilder, someone who's serious in terms of life expectancy. Well, actually, it's a lot lower in general population. So these people are not healthy, and it's a real problem you're starting to see with this stuff. So that was the interesting spin, actually, to have somebody there who's a bodybuilder and somebody who's really, really good shape. That's a great ambassador for somebody who's looking to move towards a plant-based diet. Those are the people you want to be following, not these people that are going crazy, trying to start these rallies or whatever. Don't get me wrong, I get it. People can express themselves however they want to. Yeah. We're fortunate we live in a country that we can do that. Yeah. Without repercussion necessarily. But I don't think that's the right way. I think the right way is through educating people.
Yeah, you're right. You can't force people. You can't force people. It's like someone knocking on the door, or on there, preaching and wanting to tell me which God to follow and things like that. I'm an atheist. I don't believe, because I just don't believe, and that might upset some people. But hey, that's my beliefs. Yeah, that's my beliefs. Yeah. You're plant-based. People are vegan for a reason. I like meat. Do you know what I mean? It's like, we need to take our information. We shouldn't force anything on anybody, really, should we? But we should educate what's the best thing for us. How should we be living our lives and things like that. Then let people, as long as they're in the parameters of the law, let them make their own decisions about what they want to do.
Exactly.
Something needs to change, I agree, in the food industry, both when what we're consuming from meat products as well. Everything, it needs to change, because I think we're consuming far too much packaging. We're consuming far too much sugar and fat and processed foods, really. And
it's all of it. Whatever belief you've got, nobody's going to say, I think we should have more plastic in the environment. I think that it's not really any issue that we're destroying our planet. I think it's a good thing that these things are occurring. Everybody's going to say, yeah, we probably do need to start to think about these things. But but the point of it is you can make a change, and the way you make a change is really straightforward. And you put your hand in your pocket, and you do this, and you use this as a wallet, and you'll probably pay by card or phone. And that is what drives change ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's just what you vote for your feet, don't you? So if you stop buying something or you do something, then it change. I think we should wrap up now, but it's been really interesting conversation. So just once again, where can anyone find you if they want to know a bit more?
Intelligent Eating across all the socials, or the website intelligenteating.org. Simple as that.
Brilliant. And if you don't know who I am, if you're watching it on some other platform, maybe one of Adam's platforms, I'm Kurt Bigstone from Dougie Stone Radio. We'll go across the planet. You can find us, just type in DUGYSTONE, Dougie Stone Radio, or if you just say to the Alexa, because you do that by your voice as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't get any food out of us, but you can get food for your ears, food for your mind and your soul. Nourishment for your soul. Pure, no calories, nothing, and it's good for vegans and non-vegans. It says everything, you know what I mean? So anyway, if you just say Alexa, open internet radio, you'll get the radio station. We're on 24/7. But it's been great having you in the studio today. It's been great having a chat with you and understanding where you're coming from and sharing it with people. So thanks for watching, and until next time, we'll see you.